Boo! I got all of you humans good. I'm Podshirt Man, the greatest creation to come from 11 Labs since Frankenstein. On tonight's Halloween edition of Podshirt Podcast, the Super Diesel interviews Agent Synner about its new scary album, Caught Red-Handed. Before that, we're going to air the audio trailer for the movie The Beldum. A mother, a grandmother, and a new baby are haunted by a witch inside their cursed home, starring Katie Parker and Patricia Heaton. Coming to digital, November 7th of 2025. After that, we hear from our friends at the Dayton Daily News as they tell you about one of the greatest haunted attractions in the nation. The Riverside Jaycees host a house of horrors and an outdoor 3D maze. They are about to wrap up their 40th season this Halloween weekend. Visit riversidejaycees.com. Boo!
So happy that you're here, safe and sound.
Call me a bit woo-woo, but this place is different.
Now there's an energy here.
What's wrong?
Oh my God. Christine! I saw something. There was someone.
It's fine. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with this place. There's something bad here. I can hear it in the walls. It is in the earth. It is rot. There is an infestation. It's gotten to you too. Look at yourself. You're pale. You're exhausted. You're not acting right. Because there's a witch living in the walls. I have seen it. You don't know what you're seeing.
Hush, little baby, the blackbird calls.
We need to leave.
Then you can't keep her.
Wait.
When the sun goes quiet
Mom?
and the nighttime falls.
Mom! Mom!
I will hold you through the dark so deep.
Where's my daughter?
The winged witch is hungry and the Beldum never sleeps.
I'm gonna keep an eye on this, just in case you see any monsters under the bed.
Jones and I'm with the Dayton Daily News, and tonight I'm at the Riverside Jaycees Castle of Carnage. As you can tell, I was super pumped to become a haunted house actor. This is Jason, who has been a volunteer at the haunt for 39 years. He did my makeup, and his goal was to make it look like a dentist drilled into my cheek. He started off by layering latex paint and toilet paper to create my skeleton, and then gave my skin a deadish tone. My eyes were covered in black, and then my wound was completed with fake blood. What the actors do at the haunt is harder than it looks. This was my first time, and honestly, I didn't do too hot, to the point that the owner had to come and show me how it's done. From then on, I think I nailed it. The Riverside Jaycees have been doing the haunted house since 1986. It's 100% volunteer-based, with all proceeds going back into the community. Go check them out at 1213 Old Harshman Road in Riverside.
There we go.
Welcome, everyone, to Podshirt Podcast. I am the host, Daniel Hood, and I'm with the music leader for Agent Synner, He is the one only Raymond Whitsel. Raymond, say hello.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? How you doing, Daniel?
I am doing good. Yes, thank you. Now, with that, I want to talk about your album track by track. This album is called Caught Red-Handed. And of course, I got a chance to listen to this before the public got to listen to this. And I want to talk to you. Here's how this episode works. I will, based on the track title, I will guess based on what I think the song means. And I did listen to this album, but I will guess what the song means. And then you will tell me if I'm correct or if I'm wrong, but then you'll say what your inspiration was for making this track. So basically, I'm kind of like the voice of the fan. The first track you had was something called The Signal. And when I listen to this, I'm thinking it had something, it reminds me of Batman. Like when people call for Batman, they has like this bat signal. They call for him, he comes out, and then he fights the bad guy. So I think the signal is calling for Agent Synner. I believe this Agent Synner character that's present in this album, which you are the leader of. I think this Agent Synner is like the ultimate creature of this album. He goes on an adventure, and I believe the signal calls for Agent Synner to go on his we'll say his rampage, if you will. So am I correct in saying that, Raymond?
That's not necessarily a rampage, but it's kind of like an awakening. It's to kick it off, to kick the album off.
Oh, that's
Been
okay.
using that for my. Yeah, I originally started the track as like an intro for live shows, and I ended up adding more to it to make it more for the intro to the album. Is like the awakening for the album.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting start to the album because it gets people in the mood. And with that, we'll go ahead and talk about track two. Of course, this is the same name of the album, Caught Red-Handed. Now, that's a classic term. When people say caught red-handed, that's like when a cop catches a criminal in the act, like they're doing drugs, they're doing a bad crime. Now, for the sake of this album, Caught Red-Handed, I believe either your character, Agent Center, or perhaps someone, they're doing something that's horrible. They've been caught red-handed, and you know what? They don't stop doing what they're doing. They just keep on going. So, this rampage I was talking about earlier, I imagine maybe this is when this happens. So, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it's been caught red-handed over and over. Personal experiences, everyone is something a lot of people can relate to.
Absolutely, yes. It's definitely a common term that people use. You've been caught red-handed. And of course, once again, it sets the tone. Which for people that know, I'll explain. I think your album genre is industrial. I believe I'm correct in saying that because it kind of reminds me of Nine Inch Nails. Like it's very slow in pace. There's beats that are like they come along with it, and you just really feel like anything, like if any drama is to happen or anything that's scary, this is the music that kind of like plays soundtrack to that. So I believe this. I think every track that you made kind of sets the tone for that because I did get a chance to hear this. I think people that like that type of music, industrial music, they won't be disappointed listening to something like this. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you about the third track. You have a track called "Ashes Like Altars." I think of weddings. So this is an interesting track title. You know, they walk down the aisle, and then the minister they tell the people to say their I do's and give their vows.
Yeah,
So I'm going to take a wild guess. I believe Ashes Like Altars. I believe this song is about people who got burnt up. They're burned in hell, and they turned to ash, if you will. So am I correct in saying that this is about other people that burn up connecting with other people that burnt up? They connect and just fall in love. Am I correct in saying that?
well, it's not necessarily falling in love. It is about people being burned up, but it's being burned up on like empty promises, broken vows. From like an observation standpoint, kind of it does kind of have like a first person view into that one. That's kind of like the standpoint for me was like broken promises and listening to like just taking someone that someone completely makes the same promises over and over and over and just never follows through with it.
All right, and I can relate to that. The broken promises. I've experienced that in my life, and I think anyone else that's listening, the experience of that, it's kind of like I thought I was going to have something and I didn't get it. So that's a good take on that, Raymond. All right, let's do track 4 on this. You have a song called Dead Men Ride in Reverse. Now, I'm going to take another wild guess. The idea, I guess, dead men ride in reverse is that I guess when they are alive, men that are alive, all they can do is go forward in time. But when you die, you suddenly gain this magical power. You could like go backwards in time, or you can do this. You could like cause things to happen for people that are still living. You can haunt them. You can help them out. So I'm gonna guess that that's what Dead Men Ride in Reverse is. It's about the dead being able to go back in time and maybe look at their sins. So am I right about that, Raymond?
Well, I like your interpretation of that. I really do, but that's not the interpretation of the song. And I wrote the lyrics a little bit. Yeah, the lyrics would sound that way, but the song is actually about someone living in the past. And people that live in the past, tend to build resentments, and um, holding resentments isn't a good thing. You know, that's but that's what it is. It's like a person that lives a life just resenting everything ends up, the resentments kill them.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk about track 5. And this track is called Mr. Misery. And now I know you didn't mean this, but when I think of Mr. Misery, there was a character live back 2 decades ago. She was called Debbie Downer. She was this woman that she would go to these functions, like where there's her friends or family. They'd be having a good time, and she would say something that was like sad or depressing. It would like kill the mood of the party, and they would just make everyone sad. And there would be that wah 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 whenever she said it. That was Debbie Downer. And for some reason, I thought of that when I saw Mr. Misery, because I think what the song might be about is that people, they're in a good spirit, they're in a good mood, they're out and about, but then all of a sudden they're in the wrong place at the wrong time because they run into Mr. Misery. And this Mr. Misery, he's like he just does bad things, whether he gives you disease or he's trying to kill you. So am I correct, Raymond?
But it's a song about self-reflection, about myself. I used to live a miserable past and a miserable person, and it's actually about it's about my alcoholism. I'm an alcoholic, but I'll be sober 4 years this November, and that song's like a reflection of the past, and just um, that's what that song's about.
Well, Raymond, it's good to hear that you've been sober for the last 4 years, because that I always like hearing stories, people who had substance problems and then they conquer it, and which I'm happy for you. Thank you for sharing that with me, Raymond. I'm gonna get to track 6. This track is called "Death Feels Like God Forgot Me." Now that takes a serious tone, not alone about even having listened to this, but I didn't. I did listen to this. Once again, it has an industrial, scary feel. I think what you're trying to convey in this, Raymond, is that for those that have died, I think this is people, because people think they're either going to go to heaven or they're going to go to hell, or for some people think there's what you call a in between a hell and a heaven. But I think this is for people that have died and gone to hell, and they feel the pain of death, like they're just there, they're in this miserable place, and God has not forsaken them. In fact, they've forgotten all about them. So am I correct in saying that this is just the feelings of being in hell? Am I correct in saying that, Raymond?
That's pretty close, but it's actually like living in hell, um, and not not being dead. I guess it was that one's really hard to explain the way I kind of wrote it, but it's sometimes you feel like just no one else is there. Um, it's got multiple meanings tied into it, but that is pretty close to the way you described it.
All right, Raymond. Well, thank you for telling me that. And of course, let's go ahead and get to track 7 to this album called Red Handed. Well, track 7, I want to say lucky 7, but this is the unlucky 7, considering what the theme of this album is. But this is Devil's Whisper. And once again, I think I want to take a good guess, even if someone didn't listen to the track. It's basically Satan. He is whispering in someone's ear, and he's either putting them down, saying that you're a loser, you're no good, or they're whispering bad things. Tell them, hey, go rob a bank or go smoke crack, do something awful that's going to ruin your life and other people's life. So I think that's what this theme of Devil's Whisper is. Now, Raymond, am I correct in saying that? And if I'm not, whether I'm right or wrong, tell me what was your inspiration in writing this song, Devil's Whisper?
That song was like yeah, it's pretty close. It's actually just yeah, listening to what the devil's telling someone, and that person following through with what the devil says, and how toxic and all that. But that song was a collaboration I did with a guy out in New Jersey, and it was actually his idea. Uh, doing the devil's work, he's another solo artist, and I ended up writing a song, and that took us about a year to get that tightened together
All
because it
right.
just that was one of my more difficult ones to do. But yeah, that's what that one's about.
All right, Raymond. Well, I'm glad I got that correct. And you know what? Let's get to the last track on this album. It's called Wolf in the Mirror. Now, when I see the track title, for some reason I think of that movie with Michael J. Fox. He turns into a wolf at midnight, but then he like stays a wolf for a while. He played basketball for his high school team. The idea he was a man, but he turned into a wolf. And I think for this track, I believe the person they look in the mirror, they see a wolf, but they're the only person that sees this wolf. No one else sees this monster of a wolf, only that person. And then what they do throughout this song, I believe they go out and conquer their demons in the world. They're conquering the devil's whisper. And I think this kind of plays back to all the tracks that's on this album. Like they conquer Mr. Misery. They try, some people try to burn this wolf, but he survives it. He doesn't get turned to ash. And you know what? They can't caught this. He ain't gonna be caught red-handed. He just goes and conquers the world. And that's how we end the album. Raymond, am I correct in saying this about Wolf in the Mirror?
It's not necessarily like it's actually about the man. It's about aging and learning and growing and still fighting while aging, and that's what it's. I kind of wrote it from kind of like a Norse mythology perspective. But yeah, someone that just continues to fight, and they're aging, and they still continue to fight, and
Okay.
it's to overcome their obstacles, and
Right.
that's how I come up with that. How I came
Uh,
up with that one.
you said it was about aging. So which I guess that we all go through that. Which I am now, I'm about to become a middle-aged adult, whatnot, and you are as well. But that's like an interesting take on Wolf in the Mirror. Like perhaps I was talking about perhaps like an outer demon sense, like kind of like with the theme of this album. But you were talking real life about this song, that people deal with this in real life. Do you believe like people call Halloween season the occult, in which there's witches, scary people, stickmen? What, do you personally celebrate Halloween? Is it something that you believe? Well, not believe in, but do you like recognize Halloween and believe the story of the Halloween season?
Have good times and stuff like that. Me having younger stuff like I don't look at it as something as a cult like some people do. It's funny you brought that up because if I saw something on the news saying if you're a good Christian, you can't be out trick or treating or celebrating Halloween, and I'm just like, I mean, you do you and just worry about what you're doing and quit worrying about what other people are doing. That's my take on that.
Raymond, I agree. Yeah, that's a funny thought there. Yeah, worry about yourself and also watch out for the killer clowns because I've never seen one, but I know the news they say that some areas these people they dress up as killer clowns, they go and like scare people or they brandish weapons even. Of course, those people should go to jail and stay away from the public. Those people are crazy. So hopefully we don't run into any killer clowns this Halloween season for anyone that goes out there. You did a concert over at the Gym City Music Club. I was able to be a photographer for a concert, and it was your concert. Raymond, I want to thank you for letting me do that.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I took a lot of that footage and I broke it down into some other clips. Put some. I actually extracted one and put one of the whole songs before the album released onto YouTube. So, and I still recycle a lot of that other stuff. I've still got stuff I haven't went through because but yeah, I enjoy it, man, and I put it up. A lot of people enjoyed the get good reactions from live footage. So I highly appreciate you coming out and doing that. It gives me something else to put out there for people to check out on the my social media pages.
All right. But for those that want to listen to something scary and fun, this is the album to listen to, Caught Red-Handed by Agent Synner. The man behind it is Raymond Whitsel. He's been kind of be with me today. You can listen to it on SoundCloud. And Raymond, what other places can you listen to Caught Red-Handed?
It's out now. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music. It's wherever you stream music. I release it everywhere.
Absolutely. And I'll link many of those for people to listen to. With that, Raymond, that's it for me today. I hope you continue to do well. I hope to see you. I hope to see you in a future concert in the area. And cheers, Raymond. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, December 27th. That's my next show.
And where's it? Where's it at, Raymond?
The Hidden Gem Music Club.
Awesome. I'll put that on my calendar. Raymond, thank you again. And for listeners at home, listen to this album, have some fun this whole Halloween weekend, watch a good scary film, get to a haunted house. Just be safe, whatever you do. And remember, good music is not dead.